Hello, Officer Wooten.
Hello.
Um, as a beginning question, what got you interested in becoming a policeman or police officer in the first place?
I grew up in southeast Arkansas in Pine Bluff, and it's pretty rough streets growing up in southeast Arkansas, and I always knew I wanted to not be a part of the problem. I wanted to be part of the solution. And as a young teenager, I knew I wanted to go to the military and follow up with the military and do something positive. At the time, when I was in high school, my stepfather was a Pine Bluff police officer, and he kind of mentored me in that direction. And after completing 4 years in the Navy, I joined the force in southeast Arkansas and worked down there for 2 years and moved up here in 2000. So now I'm on my 12th year with the Springdale Police Department.
Okay. Before coming into school areas, what did you do, like on the force?
I worked 10 years for the patrol division, Springdale PD, and for about a year prior to coming into the schools, I worked as a highway drug interdiction officer, looking for cars, stopping for minor traffic infractions or whatever, and looking for drugs and money and guns and felons.
That kind of stuff. Okay. What first got you interested in teaching young adults about grade?
It was kind of a prerequisite when I first become a school resource officer. I applied for the position, got accepted, and was told I was coming into the schools, and part of that was the idea that I had to complete training through this great program. 2 officers at the time went through the training. We went to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and attended the instructor development style training for gang resistance education and training. GREAT itself is similar to like a DARE program that you see in some other schools. But GREAT is federally funded, everything's free. We get our books, some prizes, all of our printed resources. All we have to do is call the GREAT resource, the national committee, and they'll send us everything we need. And it could just as easily be drug resistance education and training, but that wouldn't make a good acronym. So it's called GREAT, and it's a choices style program. And as we all know, everything we do involves making a choice. And the GREAT program just teaches kids to think about the choices that you make and make a positive choice, one that's going to help you make a difference tomorrow, to make a good decision.
What situation was the most life impacting for you during your 10 years on the force?
That would be coming into the schools. Leaving 10 years of patrol behind to come into a high school atmosphere, dealing with young adults and the dramas that we all know unfolds every day in high school and junior highs. It was a big decision to make that choice to come into the schools. But I tell you, what it's done to me is it's made me think about who I am as a man, who I am as a figure, a father figure, and as a figure in the schools. I have to be a mentor. Before I came to Harbor High School, I was assigned as a school resource officer to Springdale High School. I got a call at the end of my 2nd year, and they told me I was moving to Harbor. That was a big move for me, coming from Springdale High to here. And the life lesson that I learned from that is, as an SRO, it's not about what school you're assigned to. It's about the kids that are in the school, and that's why I'm here. I'm here for the students, to make a difference in their lives and to help them through any of the problems that they're going to have. I'm going to support whoever's playing football for whatever school that I'm working. I'm going to support those guys, but I'm going to root for Springdale because that's what we're supposed to do. Springdale in general, Springdale schools.
I mean, what's one of the things that you see mostly that students get in trouble and go to jail for?
Big problem we see, my main report that I file here at this level is probably going to be theft. We have a lot of theft that goes on all over the district, even outside of schools into adulthood. We deal with a lot of thefts. and it's a serious crime. I would probably say that's the most reports that I file is going to be revolving around that. But I mean, there are other things that happen as well, from drugs to violence, whether it be fighting or bullying type behavior, assault, cyberbullying, those type of situations.
So what would usually be the consequences for someone who's been robbing
Or stealing?
Yeah.
Consequences would be either a citation or arrest, for as far as the police department goes. Of course, the punishment would be issued by the court. It would be up to a judge. Possible restitution for replacing the product that was stolen. You could be looking at court costs for having to go to court to begin with, plus a possible fine for committing the crime in itself. But ultimately, that would be up to a judge to decide, what the consequence is going to be.
What is your opinion on cyberbullying? What do you think why do you think they do the cyberbullying?
It's easy for someone to hide behind their words over a cell phone or behind a computer, rather than to face you face to face and tell you something that's wrong, or to say things that you think's funny. People wouldn't normally say that to your face, and it's easy to hide behind a computer. But what people don't realize is that our resources are they're abundant. All we have to do is send a subpoena request for the information that was submitted online via Twitter, Facebook, any of those social networking sites. Once we get that information back, it's going to be compiled with IP addresses, and once we obtain the IP address, it's a matter of backtracking to who has that internet account set up, and name, address, phone number, and of course, if we're looking into the school, do they have any kids in school, and trying to connect the pieces to find out exactly who sent that message.
What do you think about people who say about police brutality? What do you think?
Wow, police brutality. Officers have a code of conduct that you have to live by each day. And that's number one, do the right thing. No matter what you think about or what's in front of you, do the right thing. And we have to be able to think fast on our feet. If you think it's okay to beat someone, you're wrong no matter who you are. And as an officer, sometimes our tensions get high, especially if you're in the heat of the moment. You're chasing someone, someone's fighting you. Sometimes things get a little out of line, and some officers do too. Being able to keep that in check is the issue, and not carry it overboard. We have a use of force continuum that we have to follow. If someone takes a fighting stance, then we present a one-up on them, because we're not going to go there. We have a tool belt, or a bat belt, as you call it,
Yeah.
and we use our tools to one-up the person that we're dealing with, to always keep the upper hand, to make sure that we resolve that situation peacefully, and hopefully without any sort of violence. But unfortunately, there are officers across the nation that give other police officers a bad name just simply because they made a bad choice. That goes back to the GREAT program. Making the right choices will affect you day to day.
Okay. So what do you usually carry on your tool belt or bat belt?
Everyone knows. Police officers carry guns. We carry guns and extra bullets, possibly a taser, handcuffs, maybe multiple handcuffs, pepper spray, baton, keys. Sometimes we carry utility knives or tools to help us out on the field, a radio, and that's pretty much it.
All right. So if you could say one thing to the students here at Harbor High School, or students anywhere really, about how serious it is to do something that could get you in trouble, what would you say to them?
Think about your decision. Think about the outcome of your decision you're about to make. because it will affect you. If the devil's on your shoulder speaking in your ear telling you to do something, you need to think about what is going to be the outcome if I make this choice. If I decide to pick up that iPod because no one's looking, what's going to happen if someone walks around the corner and catches me, or if I get caught with this item? Because if you don't turn it in, you're in possession of stolen property. And that's just one thing. That's just one idea. Make good decisions, because the decision you make today will affect you tomorrow, no matter what it is.